Hi guys, so I'm at home at the moment, and as you saw in my last video I interviewed Dad and asked him a bunch of questions about living at Gorge River. So today I'm going to do the same with Mum. Mum's a little bit more shy, she doesn't usually like talking to cameras very much, but she's putting on a smile just for me, which is great. Thank you, Mum. So she's just going to talk a little bit about day-to-day life living here at Gorge River. So over to Mum.
A wood fire going all the time, and there's any amount of driftwood on the beach. Mostly we don't use an axe, we just pick up the bits that fit, and it's as much work as you want to spend getting it from there. All the cooking is done on the stove. There's a wetback inside. We have all our hot water from the stove as well, and that's all the heating that we have. Being so close to the sea, we never suffer too much from frost, so there's always food to eat in the garden. We aren't very fussy, so our diet might get fairly restricted in the wintertime. We get fancier things like tomatoes and zucchinis in the summertime. We only occasionally buy potatoes to get through the summer when we've already got the rest of them planted in the ground. Since Christan left, we grow all of our own vegetables, except for just a bag of potatoes or two for the summer. We grow potatoes and carrots, parsnips and yams, which lasts through the winter. We have beetroot that mostly get bottled for the winter. Zucchinis, on a good year, well, I have lots of those pickled as well. On a bad year, we just get enough to eat through the summer. We have tomatoes for maybe a couple of months in the summertime, and there's always enough greens. Since the kids left, I mainly miss them and the contact with them. So when Christan went away to school, that's when we got the internet, and that made all the difference. I don't think I could have done it without that. Up to that time, it didn't matter, as long as they were here. I could deal with the rest of my family just by writing letters, etc., etc. But we do really enjoy when people drop in, and if it gets to be 3 or 4 weeks since the last one, we'll be hanging out to talk to somebody other than each other. There's things that I like to do when I go to town once or twice a year, or even I get out 3 or 4 times. But I don't generally miss them while I'm here. It's just something that I do when I'm there, and when I'm here I'm busy doing other stuff and happy with that. I've got what I need here, and I'm happy to not have to go to work all day to pay for it, which doesn't mean that I don't work all day. A lot of the work that I do is directly to put food on the table, rather than going to an office to work hard, to go to the supermarket to spend the money to put the food on the table. We got the internet when Christan went away to school, and personally I don't think I could have gone on without that contact with him. It has also made a lot of other things easier, for example banking, shopping. Previously we would have spent a week in town just getting all the things done twice a year. Now we can do most of that here, so that when we are in town we can firstly spend less time there, and secondly maybe do other more exciting things. When Christan was a baby we did a lot of going without, and so long as he had enough we were okay. Once we had the second child that got a lot harder, because the first one still wanted to eat as well, and he only ever ate more and more, obviously. When he was a teenager we bought a freezer as well. So after Robin was born we started regularly flying in loads of food, maybe once a month, once every couple of months or so. Then when Christan left, particularly, and then Robin left, Robert and I can get by much longer without needing much from outside. We still need to get flour and butter and eggs and milk, but we can live pretty well out of the garden and catching fish and eating the occasional possum if we get hungry. It's a really nice thing to be able to provide your own food, to put it on your plate yourself. Our kids are our pride and joy in our life, and not only that, but they're our great entertainment actually. We've never missed watching TV, but hearing what Christian's up to next is fairly interesting. Not only that, but when anybody comes here, they ask us. That's often the most common question is what our kids are doing. It gives us something to talk about as well. Robert and I are not much interested in travelling to India or God knows where, but if Christan does, well, I get to learn at least secondhand about India or Thailand or all sorts of things that I wouldn't perhaps even notice if I went there myself. He's done various jobs along the way in various places. At the moment he's working in Antarctica, and I think possibly we'll keep on doing that for a while. This is the first well-paid job he's ever had, and only about the second job he's ever done more than once. Robin works for the Department of Conservation out of Hokitika, but she doesn't sit in the office much. She gets to go all over the South Island to all sorts of amazing places where she gets to count birds and count plants, which is being paid for exactly what she wants to do anyway. In her off time, she's a trustee on the West Coast Penguin Trust. We have penguins down here nesting at the moment, so Robin and the Penguin Trust have cameras on some of the nests. Robin sometimes gets home and sets them all up, but then she's got to go back to work, so that's when I take over and I just need to maintain the cameras and change the memory cards each week. And then at the end of the season we'll have about 1 terabyte of video to watch, looking for predators and any other disturbance of the penguins on the nests, and nesting success rates perhaps. We had a chicken, just a pet one. She laid an egg occasionally, but she certainly didn't keep us fed. But if we left here, she would have to come with us because there's no neighbours to feed her while we go away. We couldn't ever leave her out of the cage for very long at a time because there's too many things that wanted to eat her. So that's why we don't have a dozen chickens, because we can't leave them, and we certainly can't carry them in the backpack as she did. The morning starts with lighting the fire, and so we can have a cup of tea or something. After that I will cook whatever food we need for the day. For example, I'll cook a loaf of bread once a week or so, possibly twice, certainly twice if Christan's here. The rest of the day we just help ourselves to whatever food is going until we come to tea time, when we eat together. Other jobs then include the garden, getting firewood to keep the fire going. So then apart from that, then I need to do some work, which for me mainly involves working with possum skins. And then for the evening meal we come together and eat at the table. Quite often just about everything that is on the plate will be either from the garden or from here. Now that we have such a problem with possums, Robert has to spend quite a lot of his time catching them, trapping. So he skins anything that's any good, and I pay him for the skins and then get them tanned. And then I turn them into bedspreads and cushions and scarves, and Christan makes hats that he takes down to Antarctica, which are the best thing you could possibly have down there.
Alright, so I'm going to end this video here. Thanks Mum for answering all the questions and everything, very much appreciated. If you did like it, please like, share, comment and subscribe. Otherwise, until next time, thanks for watching.